Hello, welcome back. I'm Hannah. Today we're going to be talking about pre-algebra, especially integers, and talking about subtracting integers. Now, if you haven't watched the other videos in this series, I highly suggest that you do that first, or you might be a little confused. I am here with my daughter,
Ellie, who is going to host this.
She wants to host it. She's pressing all the buttons today.
That's not what I meant, but okay.
All right, so you already know how to subtract integers. That's what we've been doing. Subtracting integers is another way to add a negative. So you've already learned all of this.
Well, then why are we making a whole lesson about it?
Because I have a couple more things to show you. So let's go over this. So if you have 10 minus 4, okay, that would look like 10 minus 4. Ooh, there it goes. And the answer is 6. Don't you think you should have a little sound with it when it slides?
Okay. I don't know.
Now, another way to write that is what? Don't click. Ugh.
Oh, sorry.
Well, don't click it. Okay. How else can we write 10 minus 4?
4 minus 10?
No. 10.
No, 6 minus...
No.
6 plus 4?
Nope.
10 plus minus 6?
You know this. Okay, so go to the next slide. 10. Okay, instead of minus 4, you can say 10 plus a negative 4 with parentheses, right?
I knew that. Well, I thought you meant like at putting different numbers together.
Right, no, but this is just the same thing. So now go to 10. Okay, so there's 10 minus 4, and there we go. It still equals 6. Okay? All right, so let's talk about negative 3 minus 9. Okay, so we start at negative 3, right? And then we go 9 over to the left, because subtracting means going to the left. And the answer is negative 12. Okay? Or how else could you write this?
Negative 3 plus parentheses negative 9?
Yeah. Okay, and it does the same thing. Start at negative 3, and there we go, and the answer is negative 12. Okay? All right, now let's look at some more complicated equations.
Let's stick with the easy stuff.
All right, so we have negative 1 plus a negative 5 minus, plus 7 minus 8. Whew, okay. So what do we want to do first?
I'm going to assume you want to change those to a positive.
Right, those bother me. So we can just change it to a positive. And that's kind of what happens. I know, it's cool, isn't it? So let's change that. And now we have, look, negative 1 plus 5 plus 1 minus 8.
You mean plus 7 minus 8?
Or plus 7 minus 8, yes. So we've got these two plus signs in a row. You see that?
Does that just mean plus?
It just means plus, so we can get rid of one of those. There you go. Okay, now we recopy. Okay, now let's look.
Why did we recopy that? It's the exact same.
I don't know. I just recopied it. Okay, so now we have negative 1 plus 5. So we look at the signs. They are different.
Oh, oops, sorry.
This is why I do this, okay? They are different, so that means subtract. So 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay?
I knew that because you just
recopy the rest. Okay? Now, you walk me through the next part.
Okay. Is 4 and 7 highlighted?
Yeah, we're gonna.
So 4 plus 7, they're both positive, and so you don't have to do anything wacky. You can just add, which 4 plus 7 would be 11.
11,
Then copy the minus 8.
Okay, and
then
now
11 minus 8. They're both positive, so you would just...
No, they're not both positive.
Oh, no.
11's positive, and 8 is negative.
Negative.
So that means subtract.
So, subtract. I was going to do that anyway.
Okay.
Because there was the subtract side.
Right.
Sign. 11 minus 8. I'm trying to do in my head. I'm not very good at math. 3.
There you go. Okay. All right. Now, there's another way to do this. So, sometimes a math book might tell you, okay, we'll put the signs together. So highlight the first one. Do you see how there's negative 1 and negative 8?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is negative 1 plus a negative 8?
Well, it's a negative plus a negative, which would be a negative.
Right, and are we going to add or subtract? The signs are the same, so we add.
You add, and then you add Then you put the
negative
sign in.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be -9.
-9. Okay. And then we can add the positive signs. So what's 5 plus 7?
5 plus 7 is 12.
Plus 12. Now we can just solve that. -9 plus 12.
Which would...
So signs are different. So that means add or subtract.
Signs are different, so you subtract. Which would be 3.
Then it's positive because 12 is bigger.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So sometimes instead of seeing negative and then a negative sign right next to it, sometimes you might see a negative and then parentheses negative number.
Wasn't that in one of my questions you had for me?
It might have been. Okay, so that, what do you think that means?
It probably means subtract.
Well, we've had a negative
and
then another
positive.
negative. Yeah, it just means positive.
If you turn your head, it kind of looks like a what's that? A cyclops.
I was thinking that too, actually.
Like the little emojis that you use with brackets. It looks like a little cyclops.
Okay, so the cyclops becomes a positive sign. So we have +3 there. Then we're going to recopy the rest.
You need your little...
Oh, wait. Let's do this first. So we've got negative there, which equals
positive.
a positive.
And
2 ways
recopy
to write that. And then recopy.
You need one of your little robots right at the corner. And then it says, this looks like a little cyclops.
I have a cyclops robot.
You do?
Okay. All right.
Okay. Then you do 3 plus 7, which would... They're both positive, so you would add, which you would get a positive 10. So you just write 10. Then you recopy it. Then you have 10 plus 4. They're both positive, so you add, which is 14.
Okay.
Which I would be next year.
All right. And then plus a -9.
Yeah, recopy that. Okay, now they're both different. They're different signs. 14 is positive, plus a -9. I can't get that cyclops out of my head. So you would subtract.
Yes.
You have 14 minus 9, which would be 5?
Yes.
5?
5. Good. Okay. And then a couple more things
Absolute
about
value is
absolute value.
easy.
It is, but I've got to show you something new about it. Okay, so what is this?
Positive 7.
It is. And what does absolute value mean?
Absolute value means
The distance.
the distance from 0.
The distance a number is from,
From
0.
0
So
to the left? Or
it doesn't matter. So it's -7 has an absolute value of 7 because it is 7 spaces away from 0 on a number line. Okay?
Okay.
All right. But what happens if you have a negative
The
absolute value of -15?
you would do the normal. Can I just see if I'm right? You
Okay.
do the normal, ignore the
first
ignore
negative
the
sign
negative sign. for
that's
now.
outside of the absolute value?
Yes. So the absolute value you'd turn the negative to a positive, so it would be 15. But would you keep that
No.
negative?
No.
Okay.
Okay, we're
What
not
do you
changing
do?
this to a positive sign. I can see
Not?
why you would think that. No,
But
what we're going
I
to
can
do
just
is
see your little sliding things
I know,
coming
but
together.
it doesn't work that way this time. Sorry.
No.
I see why you say that. Okay, first, what we need to do is solve what's inside the absolute value brackets, and I'll tell you why. In the order of operations, you need to do parentheses first, and the absolute value brackets are part of the parentheses. Have you heard that parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division?
Yeah.
Please, my dear Aunt Sally, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
No, please eat sugar cookies, right, Larry?
Okay, so these signs, these long lines that go, vertical, are the absolute value brackets. They are part of the parentheses family. Okay, so we have to solve what's in that first. Okay.
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 So that would be 15.
All right. Then recopy the negative sign. Okay. All right. Then we simplify.
Found a mistake. Look, these two were not... Oh, wait, why'd you move that over?
I didn't. Okay. So
Okay.
then we simplify.
Which would just be -15?
You got it.
That was
Okay,
not that hard.
so when there's, let me sum up. When there's a negative sign right outside of an absolute value, the answer will always be negative.
Okay.
All right, so to review, we did this last time, adding negative integers.
And I think we did this the time before that.
Yeah, so this is, you're going to get tired of this, but we need to review it.
But
Okay.
I thought you said we didn't need to review anything in this program.
A positive plus a positive means add.
You wrote that down.
Okay. So we have
Positive 6 plus a positive 5 equals
11.
a positive 11.
Okay. A negative plus a negative means add. Okay.
Negative 2 minus a negative 5.
No, minus 5.
Minus 5, same thing.
It is not the same thing.
Equals a negative 7.
Yes. Okay. Or negative 2 plus a negative 5 equals a negative 7. Okay. Negative plus a positive means subtract. So that's 6, and positive plus a negative means subtract. Okay. All right. So what do I say in the little bubble? When adding a negative and a positive, how do we know if the answer will be negative or positive? Okay, we have to subtract either way, but how do we know if the answer will be negative or positive? Do not touch anything. Just tell me the answer.
If it'll be negative or positive, but it's so much easier if I click the button.
Yeah, I know.
That way you don't want me doing it. Okay, if you add a positive plus a negative, you would subtract.
Right, but that's not the question. The question is, how do we know if the answer is going to end up being positive or
Absolute
negative?
value.
Yes.
If it's further away from 0 to the left than to the right, so if it's a negative number that is higher than a positive number, it will be negative.
If it has the larger absolute value.
So basically, if the larger number with any sign, that's the sign you'll use.
Right. Okay, so let's see what I say here. It has to do with the absolute value. Okay. So we have 4. The absolute value of 4 is 4. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So 5 has a larger absolute value. So we take the negative sign. Okay. Another way to say this is that the integer farthest away from 0 on the number line holds the sign. Okay, so negative 5 is farther away than 4. Okay, so it is going to be the negative sign. Okay, how to add positive and negative integers. Write this down. So we have negative 5 plus 2. The first thing we are going to do is determine if we're going to add or subtract. So we have negative 5 plus 2.
Positive, that would you'd subtract.
Right, we're going to subtract because the signs are different. Okay. All right, and then we also need to decide if the answer is going to be positive or negative. Well, we have negative 5 and positive 2, so we have to take the absolute value of both of those.
Would be be 5. It's going to be negative, I mean.
Right, it's going to be negative because 5 has a negative 5 has a bigger absolute value than 2. It's farther away from 0. Okay. All right. So then we can write down the negative sign. All right, and then we solve, and we're subtracting, remember? So it's negative 3. Okay, and that's all I have for you today, guys. I will talk to you next time. Great job.
This button.